Willpower, forged in the belly of a secret warehouse in the Ukrainian city of Ivano-Frankivsk, one of the western Ukrainian centers seeking to aid regions further east being systematically laid to waste by Russia. These men are turning peacetime skills to wartime resistance, building anti-tank obstacles, Czech hedgehogs as they're known.
In this time, all of us, we became warriors, everything what we can do.
Renata Nalisnik is part of an initiative uniting local authorities and civil society under the banner of Save Ukraine Now. They do everything from sourcing medicine and ammunition for soldiers to sheltering refugees. They know the drums of war are sounding ever closer, even here.
In the one moment we realized that there is no safety anymore anywhere. And in that time we realized that it's the point that we can't back. Yeah. And we need to fight.
Air raid sirens sound in the city often. So far, Ivano-Frankivsk has been struck twice, its airport both times, a reminder of the Kremlin's long reach. The city's residents are already hosting tens of thousands of displaced, some rubbing elbows here in the basement performance hall of the city's theater, doubling up as a bomb shelter. People doing their bit to keep others calm. The theater company was just about to stage a play for the benefit of the city's refugees. Artem Sokolsky fled Kyiv with his family. The sirens brought them down. Now he hopes the play will offer distraction for the children.
They hear this, anxiety, and they feel it all the time. So it's really hard for them. So for Mark's sake, we want to stay.
The production is an adaptation of an old poem, one of the first literary works published in the modern Ukrainian language. With the Russian President Vladimir Putin denying there ever was a Ukraine, many here will tell you their fight must also be a cultural one. An apartment in another city, Chernivtsi, further south. 6 people sharing 2 rooms, most fleeing the shelling of Kharkiv in the east.
Every single person in this apartment is definitely fighting a war. And as we've talked before, it's just that, it's not a traditional warfare.
We first met Roman Vidro in Kharkiv just ahead of the invasion. He and other activists armed with hope that war could be averted.
I remember talking to you before the war has started, and at that point, no one actually expected that this is gonna happen so soon.
That doesn't mean they've given up, each taking to the internet in different ways to counter Russian propaganda.
This is something you actually see right here in this apartment, and that you could see in dozens and hundreds of other apartments at the moment, where people are just doing whatever they can to fight back.
Aliona Vorobyova, active in Kharkiv's cultural scene, is now trying to help the artists who remained by reminding the world of what they're living through. I asked them to film themselves for a few seconds, she says, because I know I can't ask them to film someone else in such circumstances, or to sing. Gleb Naumenko studied computer science at UBC. He says the group of friends has raised $158,000 for humanitarian aid. So much better to be doing something, they say, but the mask can sometimes slip.
It's very depressing for me to think about this as yearly projects. I'm still in denial and kind of hope this will end next week. I don't know.
In another part of Chernivtsi, there is a monument to the 2 city men who lost their lives in 2014 during the Maidan uprising that's come to symbolize Ukraine's turn to the West. Vasil Aksenin was one of the demonstrators shot by snipers in the center of Kyiv on February 20th. Aksenin's son, Bogdan, now a doctor, was 17 at the time. Today he's using his spare hours to help the war effort at his local church. He sees Russia's invasion as part and parcel of that earlier struggle. But it wasn't as simple, he says, as East versus West.
He went on Maidan because it was not for Europe. It was for our freedom.
And that, many will tell you, has become the glue holding the spirit of the Ukrainian people in place when faced with such overwhelming odds, in regions already taken or under fire, but also in the towns and cities mobilizing in the West to offer up every ounce of assistance and resistance. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Western Ukraine.